How's the day
Oh,
been today, man?
my day's been alright.
Nice,
Um,
man.
Better than the previous day because I went to sleep at a decent time last night. Woke up at a good time, got a decent amount of sleep, and just got on with my plan that I made the previous night.
Beautiful.
Prepared for the day, and I executed well. Like it was a productive day. Bit,
Oh, nice, man.
I created a video for Wednesday that you guys will watch tomorrow. I did a bit of deep work, went to the gym, played tennis, and yeah, it's
Ooh,
been good. How was yours? Been
yeah. Pretty good. Productive in the morning. Early start. Gym at 8:30. Yeah, it was 8:30 with
8:30.
yeah, very early
No,
'cause
10.
no, I started at 8:30 and then I got out at like
Oh,
11, something like nah, 10:30, 11. Or then that's when Franklin left. But no, it was a pretty good day after that. Went to my grandma's. Pretty chill. And it just made me realise that you need to see your family and you need to have good connections with them because I don't know. They're just it's like an outsider point of view. You know, when like, especially when you can when you're at school or when you're at work, you talk to the same people all the time. And I just think when you have that family, maybe it's a one-off thing still, but I still feel like it's just a good thing just to talk to someone, like, and also get their point of view from something else because they may have a completely different point of view from people you surround
oh
yourself with
yeah,
normally.
yeah, that's true. And I also believe that human interaction is so important. Sometimes I might feel lonely if I've been by myself for a bit. Just trying to do obviously the habits and the daily tasks.
Yeah,
But then once I see like my dad, my mum, my family, the mood sort of brightens up.
yeah. It's such a
You
small.
should you
Yeah.
should keep connections with your family,
Mhm.
even though you may have a bad sort of relationship. I would say try to fix it because you can be close with that family member. You may have memories and they may be heartwarming, and you may want to bring them back, and that
Mhm.
can just be such a nice moment.
Yeah, it's like such a small thing. Like people take it for granted, their family especially, and especially when you see how people nowadays do treat their parents as well. They treat them with zero respect, or they just just try to ignore their existence at all. But then, if something does unfortunately happen to them, you know they'll live in regret that they didn't they didn't spend their time with them. And I think that especially with this self-improvement thing, I think we've talked about this before as well, but so many people think it's this lonely road, but you need to be around people, you need to be you need to be talking, you need to be socializing because that is
Mm,
part of improving yourself on self-improvement as well.
that's what keeps our mental health at the top.
Mhm. Mental health is such an important thing.
And mental health is a key to success. Like mental
100%,
health
yeah.
and having a strong mentality, it's the key. Without it, you're gonna fail.
Oh,
Like
100%
I like
true.
to say, life is a mental game,
Mhm.
and just like tennis, it's all mental. It's like tennis is like 80% mental, and I believe I'm happy with my progress I've been making. I've been just telling myself all these supportive sort of things like, oh yeah, you're good, go for it, don't be afraid,
Yeah.
and that is what you should use in life too. Those sort of supportive comments.
Yeah, nah, I agree with you. Life is actually is a very mental battle because there's so many times that life will throw you under the bus or make it hard for you. But if you can overcome those sort of challenges and obviously accept, adapt, and overcome, then that is the goal to you being the better version of yourself. And because I'm really glad this has been put out there more though, because you know with all these mental health awareness companies and all that. I think they're promoting a good message by saying speak to people because we know them. We always get taught about this in school, or people get taught about it around the world. The suicide rates are very high, and I think that's because men have this stigma that they can't talk to people, and I think it's stupid. Like, obviously, in that moment, you may feel like you can't talk to anyone, but I'm sure someone would rather speak to you than for you to kill yourself or for you to do something that you that would affect other people.
Yeah, I'm sure many people who have been depressed and maybe looking to commit suicide and who have actually saved themselves just by speaking to someone,
Mm.
have experienced how sort of helpful it is to speak to someone. I mean, I can't comment on that much. I
I
haven't
think I
been
can.
depressed before. Can you?
Yeah, nah, especially I think this was about a few years ago story, but I used to just be really like every day felt the same. I can make a separate solo video on if there's people want this, but I felt the same every single day. It was just same routine, same thing, and everything felt boring. Nothing felt new. Going to school was boring. There was nothing really enjoyable, and obviously there's a lot of bad stuff going on at home as well, which are private matters. But especially, I think David, you did help me with this a lot as well. But it's been having someone to talk to, like they may not know in the moment, but a 5 minute conversation with someone that can be about anything in the whole world, anything. The colour
Take
of
your
your
mind off
eyes.
it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so grateful for that because those 5, 10 minute conversations or whatever when we're sitting next to each other or something like that just completely takes your mind off it. And then when your mind gets off of it, you're thinking, you're more happy, and then you're more likely to make a change. And the more you do have those 5, 10 minute conversations, it could be with anyone. It could be with someone at a bus stop. It could be someone, I don't know, your teacher or something, or someone you don't even know. It's just it completely changes you. And being someone who had suffered with depression before, I think it's so crucial just to open up and speak to someone. I'm so grateful that I do have David, and that David has been there through that journey, as now has helped me become the best version, will come to become the best version of myself.
So, what word would you describe the state you were in when, like,
Uh,
back then? Like, how did you feel?
I just felt like no one really cared about what I was doing. I just felt like I was just in a not like
So,
yeah.
was it? Did you just feel bad, or were you actually depressed?
I think it was a mixture of both. I think I just thought that I was no use to anyone, and everyone was just looking at me as this like useless object, and I was just like the state you said. I was just in a solid state, like solid liquid gas. I just felt like I was trapped in a box and I couldn't move. I couldn't go anywhere. I was doing the same thing. Like I said before, I was doing the same thing day in day out, and it was just and everything just felt numb. And
Um,
to get out of that state, and then you can kind of use a solid liquid gas thing. Like solid is when like you don't want to open up to anyone, and then liquid is when you have those 5, 10 minute conversations, and then gas is when you're completely out of it and all the particles are moving.
extroverted.
Yeah, or like not extroverted, but like you're finally happy with yourself and you're finally managing to talk to other people or managing to I don't know, do something you enjoyed before when you thought people looked at you completely differently in a different limelight. And when you do experience these kind of things, it does make you grateful for small actions, especially if someone takes out their day to message you saying, "Are you okay?" or something like that, because that in my heart shows a good friend or someone who's willing to make a sacrifice, and it makes me. Because sometimes I do have these times when I go back to the solid state, and like obviously because you look back and you get a moment of flashback and you'll go back to the solid state, but just one like realization or visualization period where you've realized how far you've come, you've achieved, and how well you've done to get out of that solid state. You really do appreciate everything and everyone around you.
So you were actually depressed.
I don't know if maybe, but
Do you believe, like, could you say, like, with chest, I was depressed?
I wouldn't say it with chest, but I'd say I did show a few symptoms of it, and because you never know in the moment if you are or not, and you can look back in it, but I didn't really know much about it then either, to be
Right.
honest, because we were growing up then, and like
Mm.
I just thought it was just everything was new. I was just going through
Oh yeah.
being a teenager or whatever, but yeah, maybe if I did properly look back on it now, maybe I would say yeah, and I think I'm glad I've went through it because now I know to appreciate and be grateful for the small things that there is in
Humbly
life.
grateful for the low.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Because now I
S-
realize how far I've come and how much progress I made, and we can link this to the habit tracker as well. Like the small, even if it's a small thing of improving by 10 seconds in a cold shower, or doing the cold shower more times out of the 28 days, it's improvement, and it's no matter how improvement is still improvement. It can be slow, so you can
mm,
get a point 0.5 on the habit tracker more, but that's still improvement, and that's what I think people need to see as well. Like, going away from the depression side of things, it's about like just improvement and how every day you can become a better version of yourself. And I think David can talk about this with the habit tracker as well.
habit tracker. Yeah. Well, when you're starting out, obviously you don't want to go straight into the deep end. Like, with the relationship side of things with your family. If you were to give yourself 10 habits, and these took a long amount of time, you weren't seeing your family, you wouldn't be completing them, because if you're by yourself stuck in this room and you've given yourself this massive challenge to do these 10 tough habits, you'll fail, because you're new to self-improvement, you're new to these habits, and you don't know what it's like to persevere through these habits. So give yourself time with family. Now, I would say I probably don't spend enough time with my family. I I'm quite busy. I do eat with them. I'm grateful for that time I have with them, but I treasure those moments because they do brighten my mood. So it's really crucial to have that balance between, like, sort of, you could, I don't know, I was gonna say grinding, but you that's like a different.
I just
We
think
have a different definition for that,
yeah,
but
I think everything in
like,
moderation is good.
well, yeah,
Because the moment you go overboard with anything, it's not good. A healthy balance is what can lead to a very successful life. You need to spend time with your family and friends, make sure they're okay, and also putting yourself first as well. And that is how you actually build a solid foundation and improve.
yeah, because when you step into the bigger world, you're not gonna be this sort of loner, are you? You're gonna be seeing people. If you're gonna go to work, you might be having an interview. You're gonna need to speak to someone. You're gonna have to maybe make someone like you so you can get a job. So you can see sort of having your family as like an opportunity to build these sort of skills. And as I'm talking about these skills, I'm gonna whip out this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Very, very good book. It's nice and simple. Anyone can read it, and it gives great instructions on how you can literally win friends and influence people. How you can win people to your way of thinking. How you It teaches you how to be more polite, so people can appreciate you more. People can like you, and if you can apply this to your family, then you are bound to have a better relationship, and then your mental health will thrive off of that.
Well, we can play devil's advocate here, and some people may argue that they can't get anything out of having a relationship with a family. What would you say about that?
If you can't, that's just completely wrong, because even if I talk to someone on the street, like, I have a nice interaction, I get something out of that. I get a bit of happiness from it. Like, you try it. Say like, "Hello, good morning, mate." Nod to someone, and they nod back with a smile. You just have this warm feeling in your heart. And there maybe, if you feel like you're not getting anything out of the relationship with your family, you might be on bad terms. Try to fix it. You read that book I just showed you. Here is the author, Dale Carnegie. Read the book. This might actually really help you, because with your family, you spend the most time with your family. So you're going to be needing the best skills so you can build good relationships, and they're just essential for your own growth. If you have a bad relationship, if you're on bad terms, I really believe you should try to fix that. And of course, it's not going to take a day. Don't think, "Oh yeah, this person who doesn't really trust me, my I don't know, my sister or whatever, I tried one afternoon, but she still doesn't trust me. Well, trust is built over a long period of time, so just keep at it, persevere. You use the advice, and just don't give up with it, because these relationships are so crucial.
Yeah, because when you do build a good relationship with your family, you can apply it elsewhere. So, that book you just shown them. You can also what is it? Once you learn a social skill from the book when you're reading it and taking notes, you can then use it on your family. That's application, and then you can do it in the real world, in the big world, and then who knows how that could help you. That could benefit you so much, because maybe that one day you've learned how to have a nice start a good conversation with someone, or start a conversation, and you learn it in that book, right? And imagine you do that to your family, you learn how to do it, and then you do it to someone in public, or someone who's employing you. You start a nice conversation with them, start a good conversation with them. Who knows what the benefits you could reap from that are? That could be a promotion, that could be getting a job, that could be getting your dream job, just by applying that small bit of knowledge that you've read from a book. And that is a point there as well, which could be another topic for another video for another time. But how important understanding and using knowledge and applying it is in the real world.
Yeah, so make sure that what you take from this video, just remember that relationships are important. Try to get onto good terms with your family, and you'll definitely benefit from that. If you're depressed, speak to someone. Tim's told you right now how me speaking to him for 2 minutes helped him get out of depression and brighten up his day. Remember those things. Never give up, and accept, adapt, and overcome.